Um, no, 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 no. God did not create you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. According to the Bible, God created only two people, Adam and Eve. So in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, God created Adam out of sand, and he breathed into him, and Adam became a living soul, called him Adam. First man. That's not the whole of humanity. That's just one man. And then when he made the man to sleep, from verse 21, 22, Genesis 2, 21, 22, he made the man to sleep, and then he took his rib and created Eve. So in a way, Adam is the father of Eve. Also, Adam is the mother of Eve. Because that's, in today's words, cesarean operation. But outside that, Adam and Eve, there is no other person in the Bible that God created. Maybe there's a handful of other people. I can even give an example. For instance, Melchizedek, his ancestry was not mentioned, so that's mystery. That's the king of Salem, which later became Jerusalem. All right. Jesus was born by Mary and Holy Spirit. All right. So in Luke, from chapter 1, from verse 26 to 38, that's where the birth of Jesus was described. You will see that he said the Holy Spirit will come upon you, that is upon Mary, and then the power of God. So these two combination and Mary produced Jesus. Apart from these people, God did not create you. There is no place in the Bible it said that God created you. The people that created you are your parents. Your father and mother came through a mutual understanding for the most people, and produced you. And for most people, they stayed. They did not abandon you during the pregnancy. They did not abort you. If they aborted you, you wouldn't be here. After all, statistically, most humans that should be alive or that could be alive are not alive. They were never born. If you consider the 5 to 15 million sperm that swim to fertilize the egg, millions of them, let's say if there are 55 million sperm swimming, out of that 55 million, 99.99999% die because only one of them makes it. And then you consider infant mortality, maternal mortality, how many pregnant women die. So your mother stayed true, staying careful. Have you ever seen a pregnant woman very careful for 9 months, extremely careful not to die, not to engage in activities and drink illegal and illicit substances that would damage the brain of the child? It's incredibly hard. And this woman went through all these things and gave birth to you. Have you ever seen a woman in labor? It's not easy. Go to maternity ward, you see women creating children. Go to hospitals, maternity hospital, hundreds of women, thousands per week, creating children. Now that's how that child will grow up and turn into an idiot and say that God created. It's not God that created you, it's your parents. Now the argument most people normally bring is who created your parents' parents? Their parents' parents. Who created their parents' parents? No, you can keep going back. If you go back indefinitely, according to the Bible, you'll get to Adam. But it still doesn't say that God created Adam, that God created you. Do you understand? If you go through evolution, then there's no limit. If you keep going, you keep seeing parents. After 300 years, you start seeing living things that are not humans. That's when humans changed, so evolved. So you start seeing Homo erectus, Homo habilis. They look like humans, but they have hairs and stuff. They are not really humans. If you keep going 1 million years, you see the species that eventually split into becoming some apes and some humans. If you go back 7 to 8 million years, you see when human beings split from dogs, like that. Do you understand? If you go back 170 million years, you start seeing when human beings and ants split. So there's no limit. If you go back 4 billion years, you see the first single cell. All living things on earth have the same genetic material, genetic code, showing that it was one single cell that multiplied into 2, 4, 8, 6, about 4 billion years ago. They can test DNA and prove it. So it's not debatable. That is the same DNA they used to prove paternity. If you say that the child is not yours and you go to a clinic, they will test whether you descended from the child descended from the father. That is the same test that will show that the father descended from the grandfather, like that, up to 4 billion years. So either way, now, major question is, who created that living cell? Nobody knows. Whether it came from a crash, another planet that had life must have crashed into Earth. So there is evidence of a planet that crashed into Earth and bounced off. That is this our moon. Our moon used to be a planet because they took rocks from the moon, and some parts of the Earth, they took rocks and saw it's the same rock, which means there was an impact sometime. And that was around the time when that first living cell started. So that planet that crashed into Earth is called Theia. And they are saying that that planet knocked Earth into orbit. Earth is kind of in a perfect distance from the sun, such that our planet Earth is not too hot or too cold. It's in a perfect distance for life. They were saying that it wasn't there before. A planet hit it and shifted it more into orbit. So if you study the rotation of the Earth, it's not a perfect rotation. It's wobbling. You know, like a ball. If a ball is perfectly round, it will rotate round. But if the ball has some bumps or something, it will be wobbling. So the Earth is rotating, but it's wobbling on an axis. That means there was an impact. But in all this, the Bible does not say God created you. Science does not say God created you. The person that created you, according to the Bible and you and science, is your mother and your father. They need the respect. Some people go through life respecting other people more than their parents, respecting the work other people put in their life more than their parents. When you know that for the most part of your life, your parents did the most work. From after giving birth to you, they stayed there to nurse you. Have you ever seen a newborn baby? A newborn baby is powerless. The only thing they know how to do is cry and shit. Nothing else. Parents stayed through all these things. Sent you to school, worked every day. It disrupted their life plans, their life goals, everything. They were there to make sure you grow. Some of you were raised by single mothers or single fathers. Some parents died. It was your uncle or some benefactor that raised you. At the end of the day, when you become an adult, after years of going through these people, a pastor will just preach. You carry 10% of your salary and give the pastor every month. Now, these people that raised you, they are now old. They can no longer work and earn as much as before. If they're not calling you for money, you are shouting. It's like they are disturbing you. You are irritated. Some people have quarreled with their parents so that they will stop billing them. Why are you quarreling? These people put in everything. You know, one day you're going to have your own children, or even if you already have them now. Imagine putting in 20 years of work, 30 years in most cases, safe, before the child can stand on their own. After putting in all these things, the child will go and sign in the bank that they should be every month, once their salary comes, 10% or 20% should go to their pastor, a man that they just met the same year. I'm not saying you should not give your pastor or your spiritualist. Some people is native doctor. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that your gods on earth are your father and mother, and they deserve the most money that should be leaving your pocket in terms of charity. Some people will go to do charity. They will carry camera and Instagram and go to do charity, but their parents are suffering. Do something for the old man. Shock him. If he's already leaning, buy a car for him. It's not waste. You know, buy a car for your mother. Even if she let her go and learn how to drive. It will give her new life. You know, renovate their house. Change the roofing. Make the house not the leak again. Renovate the room. Put POP. Put everything. Put, what do you call it? Inverter. Let there be light in the house. Do something that you know that even if they are dead tomorrow, you will always be happy and fulfilled that they died happy. You completed your assignment, you know? So whenever I see people saying God created them, I know that they are not, they have not read the Bible. Most people have never really actually read the Bible. They just read verses that they are given. Most people have never read through. So most quotes they hear, they think it's somewhere in the Bible. It's not there, you know? So if I hear somebody saying it, I know they have never read the Bible. Or they have read it, they know it's not there, but they are using it to scam others. These days, we have a lot of scammers carrying microphone. You know, they will carry microphone. God said this, God. Nah. You know,